Togo's leader, Faure Gnassingbé, now has a newly created title. He's transitioned from president to president of the Council of Ministers, a position that gives him chief executive powers and allows Parliament to re-elect him to unlimited 6-year terms. It bears noting his party, the Union for the Republic, holds 108 of the 115 seats in the National Assembly. It's the latest in a series of constitutional reforms the party has pushed through, consolidating power in the hands of Gnassingbé, whose family has been in power for almost 6 decades. Beyond the corridors of power, voices of dissent are struggling to be heard.
A new chapter in Togo, but with no end in sight. The country's leader, Faure Gnassingbé, was sworn in on the day his presidential term was supposed to end. So while he's no longer president, he still holds the country's highest office, president of the Council of Ministers. Gnassingbé has ruled this country since 2005, following his father's 38 years in power. Meanwhile, Congress voted the veteran politician Jean-Lucien Savy-Detove to take on Gnassingbé's former role as president, which has now been downgraded and made largely ceremonial. Supporters say these changes are what Togo needs to strengthen democratic governance and to ensure citizens are better represented. But that move has angered the opposition, who see it as a power grab. With an appeal to the divine and to each other, they attempt to rally the public against what's being called the Fifth Republic.
Most Togolese today don't accept this. We can't present this to the outside world. We've become the laughingstock of the whole world. The aim is to mobilize the Togolese people against the imposition of the Fifth Republic. To mobilize, to never give up, and to answer our calls.
Calls to action that would need to be much louder if this rally's modest turnout is anything to go by.
I'd like to welcome now Professor David Dosset, a leader of the opposition who joins us from the capital Lomé. Professor Dosset, ruling party leaders, your political opponents, say this transition to a parliamentary system has modernized government. What do you say?
The ruling party doesn't want to leave the power, and they created this ploy just to keep the power. So President Faure Gnassingbé can be on power for life, and we cannot accept it. Togo is the only country without alternation in the region, and it's something very dangerous for democracy.
What you're referring to basically is that under the new constitution, in this new position, Gnassingbé isn't facing term limits. So help our viewers understand what mechanisms, if any, are in place to ensure accountability and prevent any abuse of power.
It will be very, very difficult in this condition, because now we have a new system with a president of republic without any power, but with term limits. And Gnassingbé, he retains the full executive power, but without term limits. And the conditions are very difficult for civil society, for political opposition party, and it's very difficult for us to face the power. But we are doing our best, but it's very, very difficult. So it's a big way for him to continue to exerce the executive power and maybe to abuse. It will be more difficult when you know that justice also is instrumentalized.
I hope you'll forgive me for putting it this way, but I imagine there are people listening to us right now who would say, what is the point of having an opposition in Togo? You are the opposition. What are you going to do? What can you do?
You know, in 2017 and in 2018, we faced this ruling power, this regime, very strongly, and we were hoping to get free, to get freedom from this ruling party, but we didn't succeed. And now it's like everything must be redone. But it's important to continue to speak to people, to tell them that they are the real power of the country. People is the real power of the country. This president is on power since 20 years. His father were there for 38 years. It's too long. We need to be free as the other countries. We need to experience alternation, democratic alternation as the other countries. Togo cannot be the same country where the same family stay in power, the same family use ploy just to have tenure elongation. And it's important for people to understand that. And I think that when they will understand the real situation, they will be able to mobilize themselves. And if we mobilize people, I know what we will do with this big, massive mobilization.
To what extent are you and others worried about the signal this sends to the rest of West Africa, which of course is still reeling from waves of military coups?